of us brought a fan because I
You know
sure
I
didn't
had to
bring
bring
mine.
my fan. It is no way in the world.
Oh
I
wait, let
would.
me get my simply the best fan. Hold
Yeah,
on.
get your fan. Get your fan.
Oh, how are you, Jeff? I just seen your boy Tuesday. We were at the party together.
He told me. He said he saw
Uh,
you.
he said, "You doing Jasmine show?" I said, "Of course I am. You know that's my girl."
And thank you. He was like, I can't believe you're doing flame before you do me. I said, listen,
Tell him
beauty
he been
before
doing you.
age.
Look, tell him he been doing you for years. Knock it off.
Ain't that the truth? Hilarious.
How
Oh my
are you,
good.
Jasmine? There we
I
go.
am doing good.
I had to pull out my Tina fan. Simply the
Ah,
best.
I love it. I got my
Somebody say,
fan. I don't. Oh,
yeah.
he, she,
Somebody say,
we.
Flame, you trying to capitalize off Tina? I said, bitch, I had these fans when she was real. Knock it the fuck off.
Right. Please knock it off. Please knock it off. I can only, first of all, let me just say this. I am so happy that you and I are finally getting the opportunity to talk. I absolutely love talking to you because I can be myself. I know you're going to be yourself. I love the fact that you, like, listen, you feel how you feel. I feel how I feel. We both look good and God is good. Who? Bam.
Say that one more. Look, watch this. Exactly.
Yeah. You know what? You try to teach me how to do this. Oh, I almost
Hey,
had it.
there you go. You got it.
It's important. It's important. I'm going to tell you what I love the most about you. I love your effervescence. I love your there is a spirit and aura about you that is second to none. Like it's hard to explain. Like when you're in the room with you, you feel it's almost like flying too close to the sun. Do you know what I mean? Like there is a
I picked that.
beauty in it, there is a warmth in it, but okay, don't let me touch the sun. I mess around and get burnt. Like, I, I, but there is a beauty in it. Do you know what I mean? Like the
I
sun,
know.
it's not for everyone, but we all need it. If that makes
That's a
sense.
that's a great analogy of me. I'm not for everyone, but y'all damn sure need me.
I love that though, because I think that's important. And I feel like we don't say that enough to one another. And so, one of the reasons for me doing these conversations was to be able to chit chat with people that I know, with people that are adjacent to me. Like I know them, but I don't really know them well, and people that I want to know. And I like to consider you someone that I don't know very well, but I know well enough that I call you friend. If I see you in the streets, arms wide open, come to me, hug me. I'm so happy to see you. I wish everything good for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Jasmine. I'll take it. I need it. Good God.
What is
I'm
Flame
taking all
doing these days?
positivity right now.
All
Trying,
positivity,
try, trying to work, Jasmine.
trying
That's
to
just the
work.
God, the honest truth. I'm trying to work. It's not that I can't get work, but then when I do get work, because of my stance on who I am as a female impersonator, as a trans woman of trans female experience, and how I feel about biological women and who they are to us and the world, I get a lot. I get a lot of shunning. I get a lot of pushback. I get a lot of cancellations, I should say.
Which
And even when you're not when you're not even hiring me to speak on LGBT issues, you hiring me as an entertainer, which is what I am first. But then
exactly.
all it takes is one disgruntled person from the community to say, "Hey, she's not speaking for the community. She doesn't support this or that." And all hell breaks loose. And I'm tired of pushing that rock up the hill, but I'm not going to join them. You know how they say if you can't beat them, join them?
Don't join
I'm
them.
good.
Don't
I'm
join
definitely
them.
not joining them.
I wouldn't, because the thing that I find so interesting even about that, which and to full disclosure, I tell you the truth, I have no intention of even going down that path with you because I feel like you're so much more than that. Like who you are as
Thank
a
you.
person is so bigger than that, and to just blow that trumpet, no pun intended, to blow that trumpet.
I had my trumpet blown quite some time this past weekend. Good God.
I love it. But I think what's so unfair to me is that the very thing that groups of people, because there are several of them, the very thing that they complain about that happens to them the most, they are often the most guilty of. When they say we don't want to be bullied, we don't want to be treated unfairly, I feel as though the ones who shout that the loudest are often the ones doing the most amount of bullying and pushing. And it gets on my
Uh,
nerves.
it's true.
I've,
That's
I've
true.
had enough of it.
And I said that on one of the shows I was on earlier before when my career kicked off in 2019. Big. I said that sometimes the most uh, intolerant people, of the people who expect the most tolerance, are the most intolerant people. You want
Yeah,
everything, but you don't want to sacrifice anything, and it does not work that way.
it does not. It does not. So let me ask you, what in the midst of everything that you're going through right now, my question for you is, what brings you joy these days? What do you find the most happiness in? Like what just tickles your fancy?
I would say my children, but they're teenagers, so that would be a lie. Uh, the most, you know what brings me the most joy right now, just on stage in front of an audience that may have a misunderstanding or a fear of my presentation, of the word trans or the word drag queen or what have you. And then I come on and I dazzle them with with the me. Because I don't hit you with nothing else. I hit you with the me. I take apart the fear, like
Yeah,
like the game Jenga. You take the pieces out one by one to allow you to let down that level of fear. So when that time is done, I am that favorite uncle or that favorite auntie that you could
yes,
talk to, that you could laugh with, and I talk about me first. I always go after me because then it's so much easier for people to receive that. Oh, this person just tore themselves up. So when they come after me, it's okay because they attack them first, but
that's right.
always in a pleasant way. I love an audience that leaves that room more entertained than they came and more knowledgeable of what I am and who I am and why I am. Because it's not just who and what, but it's also a why.
Yeah,
There is a why I am. I am here to entertain you. I am here to teach you and take away whatever fear somebody else has instilled in you. Because I ain't got no fear. The only thing
right.
I'm scared of is God and being broke.
Well, I will tell you this. I have, baby, I got that same fear. Woohoo! I don't want to be broke. No, Lord, no. But what's interesting is, yes, what's interesting is I honestly think, as much as people say that they are open, they are liberal, I really do believe that one of the greatest things people fear more than anything is any person, any company, but certainly any individual that has no fear. And the thing that I learned very quickly about you from the moment I met you, I was following you on social media before I actually met you in person. And when I did, I said, oh my God, Flame is the same person on social media as the person that I am meeting now. And I think that everybody's not ready to accept someone who's not afraid. Because really, that's how people rule another person, right? And
Yeah.
that is through
Hmm.
fear. If I can make you afraid, afraid to be yourself, afraid to feel all of your skin all the way out, right? If I can make you shrink, then I am in control of you. And you are nothing like that. You are like, whatever, let me put this on, put this on. I'm stretching all the way out. And in my mind, I can't help but think that that's probably the most glorious way to live.
Yeah. I was at the party. I was at a party Tuesday, and thank you for that, Jasmine. Earthquake's birthday party. I met your partner, your boss, your coworker. I saw the deal there, and I was talking to a young lady, big name in the industry. I'm not gonna give out her name because I love what she told me, and she said that Flame, they are trying to take away um your platform. They want to take away your voice. They want to silence you. And know that me, she's a female actress, a great actress too, A-list, and said that me and so many other Hollywood actresses in the industry, we see you. We love you. We support you on the quiet, but we can't do it publicly because they will strip our careers. When I tell you I understood exactly what she was saying to me and it made me feel great. She said, Flame, why are they so afraid of you? I said, because I'm not afraid of them. And that is what it is right there. They are afraid of. They want you to be fearful. I'm not
Yeah,
afraid of you. What all you can do is stop me from working. You can't do anything else to me because
that's
I'm
it.
not none of Will's. I'm not Chris Rock. I promise you, I'm not Chris Rock. I'm a West Side brother from the projects with titties. I am. I
With
love Chris
titties and
Rock,
these hands, these hands.
baby, and I boxed for 2 years. When I tell you, the titties is like gloves. They gonna protect me.
I'm gonna tell you this, and this is for real, for real. I wish I had them titties. I don't have them. I was blessed in other areas, but this ain't one of them.
This
I
was no
wish.
blessing. This was a check.
Well, I'm
But
gonna give me
Jasmine,
one
what
of them
it does,
checks. I keep
it
flipping. There you go.
and
There you go.
it's so funny because DL told me when I did the show with you guys back a few years ago. He says you're going to get a lot of pushback from your community because you stand on who you are. And I told him the other day, I said, you have poisoned me because they are all. He said, Flame, just stand in your truth. Just stay who you are. It'll turn around. It gets disheartening, Jasmine. I can't
I
even lie
mean,
to you
but
because I,
I
I
think anything that's pressured, right? Anything that's pressured, pressure cooker, pressure of diamonds, all of those things, or rocks rather, that turn into diamonds. I think anything
yeah.
that is pressured always comes out pure and in the end is always worth something. I think it is the road less traveled that defines who you are and will always have your name written, right? Because it's the people who don't ruffle feathers. It's the people who walk in a room and nobody knows you were there when you left. Nobody knew anything about your presence. I would much rather live a life that wasn't always easy, but was always memorable for other people and myself. I think that's far more important
Uh,
than anything.
I love that you mentioned the road less traveled. That's one of my favorite poems by Robert Frost.
Robert Frost.
Uh-huh. And I always took the opposite road. I was always other. I was always the indifferent. I was never the staple. I was always
I was
the
going to ask
anomaly.
you, at what point did you take the road less traveled? Because
I
being very clear, we all know that this has always been around, but I feel like now it's I was just reading yesterday where Target was selling swimsuits called the Tuckets, and now I think there's another store, and then there's Anheuser-Busch has just signed a new contract with, like, it is more commercially acceptable than it was. I would imagine that when you were in high school or junior high or whenever you decided to live your truth. What was
yeah.
it like? And how old were you when you decided that, you know what, this is who I am?
Okay, so I was born, and that's when I decided who I was. That let me just be very clear, because they always keep asking all these trans women, "What is a woman? What is a woman? What?" And it's the social construct, and the chromosomes, and the hormones, and the vagina don't make you a woman. And my answer has never wavered because I'm a female impersonator, a trans woman, female impersonator. A woman is your mother. Because most trans women, the woman that raised and bore and raised them, or just raised them, is the one that you emulate the most, even when you don't know that you cook like her, or you do your
Yeah,
hair like her, or you clean up like her. And this is for real women as well. By you, the woman who you watch the most growing up, you have so many of her likability, so many of her things that she does, the way you cook, the
yeah,
way but we don't want to, as a trans community, especially these young ones, they don't want to give respect to biological women. You keep asking for respect and keep asking for acceptance, but how can we give that to you when you don't want to be fair and give it back? Jasmine, when they
yeah.
overturned Roe versus Wade, I was the first person on live as a trans person to say, trans sisters, we have to stand with these women because if they took their rights to their bodies, do you know what they're going to do to us? Here
I
we are now.
mean,
Where we at? Where we at?
where we
They're
at?
trying to take away everything. And here's my
Everything.
philosophy on that. When President Barack Obama, one of the greatest to ever do it, gave us marriage equality, that was beautiful. And just like if you make a soup or a stew or a roux or a gumbo, you put the seasonings in one by one by one. The problem is they want to throw everything in the pot at one time because they want instant gratification. The world does not work like that.
It does not work like that. And my biggest thing has always been, I I I don't know if I'm not an anomaly. I know there are many people like me, but my thing has always been, I can't live your life and you can't live mine. And when my life is over, that's it for me. And so every decision that I make, whether it be for my body, whether it be for, how I feel psychologically, mentally, emotionally, all of those things are my decision. I have to lay down with them. I have to get up with them. And the life that I lead when no one else is watching, everything that happens to
Mm-hmm.
me is because of my decision. So my thing is, I want all of that to be on me. I don't want you to tell me what I can and what I can't do. I don't want you to tell me what I can and what I can't wear. If I want to wear black all the time, if I want to wear pink all the time, it's my body, it's my life. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, go on and do whatever's
Exactly.
going to make you happy. Let me pee where I want to pee. Just leave me alone. And I feel like we have crossed
Yeah.
this line that everybody wants to be in control of what everyone else is doing, but stay out of their business. Because most of these people who are pushing hard, when you pull the curtain back, what you
Yeah.
doing? And I
Yeah.
feel
You
like
see it
it's
all.
and then there's the grace of it all. Well, another one of the reasons why I have always had such a huge amount of respect for you is that you gave me grace to ask questions that I generally and genuinely did not know the answer. And I felt, you know, I don't know, maligned if I were to say anything out loud. And you were like, honey, ask me whatever you want to ask. Just ask and I'll answer the question to the best of my ability. No
Hmm.
one, and I talk to thousands of people, no one has ever given me that grace to say, so what does this mean? And what is, you can't even ask that. It's just accept it. Just
Thank
accept
you,
it. You don't have
Mrs.
to know what it is.
Thank
Just
you,
accept
Clara
it.
Love. Thank you, Clara Love. That was my second grade teacher. She said there are no dumb questions. And if you want to know the answer to something, you ask the question. You do not assume. You do not think. You can't think for nobody but you. Your
Yeah.
mind was set up to think for one person, and that is you. And a lot of times you
Indeed.
make the wrong decision. She taught me that in second grade. It instilled such a seed in me that, and most trans people, to be honest, are open books, would love to tell their story or speak about who they are, their experiences, if you come to them in a respectful way. Most of us have been on the fence or on the defense for such a long time that,
Yeah.
so if you walked up to me and said, "Excuse me, can I ask you a question? Are you you immediately run to, why you asking me that? Woo woo woo." I was always like, "Sure, let's talk. If you talk to me respectfully, I can be respectful back. If you're disrespectful, I can be the nastiest bitch that God put titties on."
Wait a minute.
But
You
that is
know what?
growth. That is how you
That's it.
take away the level of fear and misunderstanding. My title, a friend of mine who does my feed named Brian told me, playing the reason you work is because you understand the misunderstandings. It's only a misunderstandings between us. There's no hate or fear. We
No, of
just don't
course.
understand. But
Well,
I am the liaison to make you understand.
now I would say, I would push back a little bit and say that it is the misunderstanding comes from a place of fear. I think people who are angry, I think people who are just spouting off hateful rhetoric, all of that is fear. Fear of, I don't understand, fear of, I don't agree. When in reality, you don't have to understand and you don't have to agree. The sun is shining. You don't have to agree with it, but it's still shining. You know what I mean? Like,
But to push back on that, Jasmine, I think we should understand. I think it would make America safe. I think it would make the world safe if you did. So if you took the time to talk to me and ask me, and then I made you understand this is how I feel internally, and this is how I want to express myself externally. It is no hate at you. I am not in competition with you. I'm not trying to sleep with your man. I am just who I am, and you are who you are. And I'm trying to explain that we can coexist living as who we are. If I'm not peeking through your blinds to see what you're doing, and you're not peeking through mine to see what I'm doing, I'm telling you what I need you to know.
but see, I also feel as though the fear of some people is that they may understand it and they may get
Well,
it. And I think that there is a fear even in that.
whatever you're running from in your life, that's on you. Whatever you are running from,
Indeed.
you can't run from it because Teddy Pendergrass said you can't hide from yourself. Everywhere you go, there you are.
There you
And
are.
a lot
Ain't
of
that
people
the
a lot
truth?
of people don't get that. But as far as my new demographic, what they really did for me was opened up the world to straight men who were afraid to laugh with me, who were afraid, because if you laugh at flame jokes, you must be gay or you like that. But what it did for me was show that I am a father of three children, single father of three children, that I take care of my kids. I am a loving parent for the most part. I got teenagers, so you figure that part out. And I'm just on the hustle. I was working. The
Yeah.
hurt part is that my own community that I will stand with, I was not standing with BS. I will never discredit what a woman, who a woman is, to all of us. We all pass through the legs or uterus of a woman to get here. We all did. I
Yeah.
will never discredit what my mother was to me, and my grandmother, my auntie, my sister. And when I was a young gay boy, my best friend, which is most of us, our best friends was a biological girl. The first person we came out to was, ooh, Jasmine. You can say, ooh, Marcus. That's my boy named Marcus. I like David. And I'd be like, ooh, Jasmine, can I tell you a secret? I
I
like
like
David
David
too.
too.
But as soon as I got comfortable with my gayism or my transism, then all of a sudden I'm better than you, Jasmine. No,
Yeah.
I'm not better than you. I share my biggest secret in the world with you, something I couldn't even share with my own parents. But
Yeah.
then that's where we get disheveled at and we get lost. And when they started to deal with this whole trans kids thing, I already knew where that was going. That's why I
Yeah.
pulled out of that. I knew where it was going.
It is. It's a lot. I will say that I I hate that a lot of the more open-mindedness came too late for me personally to get to know some of my own family members that I now know what I did not know when I was younger were gay. And looking back on it, clearly gay. I had an uncle who lived in a pink house, and everything in the house was pink. I just thought it was pretty because I was, I don't know, 8 years old. I just thought, wow, this is so cute. He was always very well dressed, very fastidious, and house pink as could be. And drove, I think, his car, I think, may have been yellow. He was very flamboyant, but I loved and adored him, but he was never really around. I found out later it was because of his lifestyle that he felt kind of alienated. And I hate that because he was much old. He was like my great uncle, like my grandmother's brother. And I hate that I never got the opportunity to really, I don't know, talk to him, get to know him better and appreciate who he was in all of his glory because he was fabulous. I just never got the opportunity to tell him I thought that.
Well, let me tell you why. It wasn't on you. The most beautiful statement that you said out of that whole statement that you just said was the fact that he, when you were 8 years old, you thought he was fabulous.
I
There
did.
was the innocence of a child. That is what they're taking away. They're taking away the children's innocence. You loved your uncle because he was fabulous, and you did know that he was gay. And had you known that, it would not have changed your love for him,
No.
but it would have made you understand way earlier. But I'm sure there was some adult around that was keeping
Oh
him
yeah.
at bay because he was this or he was, and that is always the problem. You take away these kids' innocence and expose them to hell. What do you expect them to turn out to be? But hellions, hellions. Am
It's
I
such a
saying that right?
Hellions is right. It's such a crazy time that we live in. I feel, I don't know. What would
You
you
know
say
what
if you
hurts
could?
me the most, though, Jasmine? Let me tell you what hurts me. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to speak against and or for what I don't believe in. But I also am a single parent of three children. When you take money out of my mouth because I won't say what you want me to say, when you try to shut me down from being who I am, you stop my children's education. You don't put food on my table. I'm not on Section 8 anymore. Thank you, Jesus. I'm not on welfare anymore. Thank you, Jesus, because I'm working as a comedian because of They Ready. The problem is they want me to say what they want. And this started with They Ready because when we were taping They Ready, there's a producer, I'm not going to say her name,
Mm.
who's a huge name, you know her, and did not want me on They Ready because she's like, you could be the spokesperson. You could be the advocate. I said, that's not a job that I want. I don't want to be the spokesperson or the advocate. I am an entertainer. I want to entertain people, make people laugh and feel good. I don't want that job. And ever since I said that and did They Ready my way, that person, I can't say that they blacklisted me, but they damn sure they put me on the white list.
That's so sad though. I
It is.
hate that though. I mean, I hate that because you're right. People don't think about the domino effect of that it's more than flame. There is also children of flame and then their children and just the whole domino effect, like I said, of all of that. Like have you had that
Hmm.
conversation with your children and what do they say?
Oh, I tell my children all the time, don't never read anything on the tabloids. Don't never respond to anything that people say about me. Y'all live with me. Y'all have lived with me since y'all came out the womb. Y'all know me better than anyone. So
Yeah.
when they have made all kind of stories that I was a monster, and my children look at them stories and laugh because I instill that in them. See,
Yeah.
this is the problem with the whole trans kids and going to the drag show. And for the record, drag shows have never hurt anyone. I did drag
Never.
shows for many years. The problem with comes with the drag shows came when they started that library story time.
Oh, I
There
remember
was,
that.
yeah, it was never on the entertainer. So I worked a couple of brunches. It was never on me to know what was in the audience. It's the parents' responsibility to say, hey, I don't want to take my child to this, or I do want to take my child to this, but you should explain to your child. Don't let the internet explain to your child. I don't know that, but if I had to sit in the library to read Little Red Riding Hood, I can't sit there with my ass out looking for in Beyonce character because it's disrespectful to somebody else's kid. Now, if you're gonna look like Mrs. Doubtfire or a 1950s librarian with the sweater on the shoulders covered up to here or a nun, safe. But if
Right.
you're gonna go in there half naked, I'm transgender. I don't want my kids to see that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I agree with
And they
that.
did that, and it was irresponsible of the entertainer because they would say, "Well, they're not my kids, but they're somebody's kids."
But see, my thing about this is I wake up every day and I say, what are we fake caring about today? And the reason I say that is because you can't tell me that there is a level of safety concern about someone coming in a dress that you don't think should have one on, reading to your children, but you okay with somebody coming in with a bulletproof vest on and shooting the place up. Like it doesn't make any
Well,
sense to me. Make it make
well,
sense. Focus
and
on that
I
first.
hate that argument though because it's
But it's
apples and oranges,
true.
and it is true, and I get it, but you have a control of whether I'm gonna take my kid to this show. You have a control of whether I'm gonna take my kid to this. You don't have a control of whether somebody's gonna show up to the school because you
Right.
don't know.
But I think the difference ought to be if I am the kind of parent that believes that I want my kid exposed to all of that, give me the choice. Like, give me the
Exactly.
opportunity to say, I'm okay with you teaching my children sex ed. I'm okay with you teaching my children about trans and the LGBTQ community and all of that. And then give me the choice to say, I'm not. My problem is, I don't like the government coming in and making these sweeping laws. Because again, when you open Pandora's box, she coming out and she coming out with a vengeance. So if you start making laws that now say you can't see this, you can't read that book, you to me, all of a sudden, it sounds very big brotherish. My thing is, leave it up to the parents. Send a note home and say, listen, today we're having a trans come in to read stories. If you don't want your child to participate, that's fine. Here's your option to opt out of that. I just don't like the idea a big brother watching and telling me what I can. And I feel the same way about what I look at on TV, what comedy shows I go watch, what if I'm into watching trans or if I want to go to a parade or whatever. I feel like that's my prerogative. I don't want the federal government telling me from a level like that what I can and what I can't do
That's on us. We need to vote for people who think like us for real.
all day
But
long, all
that
day
ain't what
long.
we do. And I
Yeah,
agree with that. I think that it is, and I still think even with what's happening in the world with LGBT, and I love, and I'm gonna say this publicly, I love that we have gotten so much exposure. What I do not like is that the exposure has turned negative. They
yeah,
turned it into a commercialized business as opposed to a lifestyle. Trans is not, I feel like I'm a trans today and not tomorrow. Trans is a way of life. It is instilled in your DNA. It is how you live your life. And they allowed these microwave transgender people who became transgender overnight to say and have this much pub and this much play to push a narrative that is not what it is. You don't become trans in a day. You become trans over time.
yeah.
You live that life. You walk in that path. But the big names and the celebrities that have become trans because it's popular, get are the ones that everybody is running to because they think, oh, it's famous. They're on TV. I could be that. A prime example is that show I Am Jazz. The little girl who had the
Yes,
show, she went through the sex change for the cameras and everything. From what I hear from close personal friends, she's miserable
yeah.
because she was too young. She made a decision for television, which was a novelty and not for how she truly feels. You can be trans and keep your sexual genitalia. I love my genitalia. I loved it before I got titties. I'm going to love it when these titties is gone.
When the titties
But
are
that's what
gone.
you have to teach. That is what you have
Yeah,
to. I don't hate me. I never thought I was born in the wrong body. I altered my body, but I never thought that I was born in the wrong body.
yeah.
But I live in a country. I live in America where you can have the wherewithal and the tenacity to live freely as you want. I know some third world countries where they can't even put makeup or wig or heels, but we take that for granted here.
No,
But
you're absolutely
now
right.
America is adopting so many philosophies from other countries. It is a dangerous time to live in. Hell, not to just to be trans, to be black, to be brown, to be of not of the 1%. It is a dangerous time in this country for so many
Without
different people.
question. Without question. And I think, my again, being a parent, I have a son. Now he old as hell, but I still got a son.
Girl, he could be no more than 12. You ain't but
He
25 yourself.
stop. He's 8. He's 8, Flame. He's 8. You see how fabulous I am, honey? I ain't a day over 23, and I ain't gonna never tell you nothing different. But I do believe that it is true that a child has a childlike mind and way of understanding. So the thing that I don't like, and I think we talked about this at the top of the beginning of the interview, and that is I don't want my child focused or bombarded with everything about sex. You got time for that later. Trust and
Oh,
believe.
yeah.
All of that is coming. So all of this about, you can wait and determine whether or not you want your child to be considered a male or female, or you're going to wait and let them decide how they feel and what they want to be, or you want to go ahead and start putting them on, hormone treatments. And I think it is overload. I think it is feeding the monster. I think it is too much too soon for such a young mind. My thing is, as a child, you need to know just a very few things. Do what the hell I tell you to do when you live in this house. Number one, don't break my shit. But most importantly, be a very good, well rounded, decent, kind human being. Let's start with that first. All
Yeah.
of those other things are going to come whether you want them to or not. And when they come, we can start having that conversation as you get older. Because Lord knows, I think about myself. If I had have married the guy that I thought I should have been with, baby, first of all, I wouldn't have all these shoes behind me. That's number one.
Hey,
Hey,
and we love our shoes, Jasmine.
hey,
Jasmine,
hey.
that is so great because here's the thing. Here's my thing. Especially with the kids. When I was 17, I hadn't started doing drag yet, but I was very effeminate. I was very sissified, as they would say. But I thought that when I wanted a sex change. I didn't have the wherewithal or the money, but I kept, oh, I'm gonna be a girl. I'm gonna be a girl. I didn't give myself a time to allow for life to happen because life happens whether
Life
you want it to or not.
happens. That's it.
And I never not had the experience of being with a woman because I was with a girl and then I was with a brother 3 days later. Good God, it was a mess. I lost my virginity twice in the same
Well,
week.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. How do we go from her to her brother? Did you see him in the
he
house?
was
Like,
no,
damn.
he was listening to us, and so he wanted to experience what it was like. So I was like, okay, let's play.
I'm so
Anyway,
mad that he
but
was listening.
saying is that had my parents been these newfangled parents to say, "Oh, you want to be a girl? I'm gonna put you on hormones," I may not have children because female hormones, estrogen shrinks your penis, it messes with your testosterone level, it grows breasts, it mentally it does some things to you, and weight wise, it gives you this water weight that women carry to make you more
That's right.
feminine.
That's right.
But I didn't want to give up the joy of what my anatomy brought to me. I knew what it did. I knew what I had, and I didn't want to give that up. But to me now, it looks like they're just putting this on these kids who can't make the decision. You still make the decision, but it looks like now that the children are the parents. I wish these kids would tell me what they want to do in my house. I wish the hell they would.
I
But
be,
that's old school parenting. That is old school
well,
parenting.
everything old is new. I'm telling you. I say it all the time. Did my parents make mistakes? Absolutely. But there were some things that they were spot on. Like the guy that I wanted to marry, my mama was like, no, you're not gonna marry him. He ain't no good. He ain't no good. And I was like, you don't know nothing. You just don't want me to be in love. No, she knew exactly what she was talking about. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there is something to be said for when you are a child, you do as a child. And then as you grow older, life experiences, you get to experience. First of all, you cannot convince me that you know what you want when you're 10. You don't know what
10.
you want.
You don't
You
know what you want at 21. You
you
don't.
don't. Between 21 and 30, you still trying to figure that shit out. You're like, you know what? I don't care that he's too short. Then when you turn 30, you like, nah, I don't think I like short men. Well, damn. I don't think we're giving children enough time to figure it out. And I think, unfortunately, if we continue on the path, we're going to have a generation of kids, pardon my French, who are fucked up.
Oh, it's too late. We gonna have.
It's too
Don't you
late.
know we on Generation Z? Z is the last letter of the alphabet. What we going to Roman numerals next? We're done.
I'm
It's
telling
over.
you, they're going to be so twisted in terms of the way that they think. I think trying to figure just I know I've always liked men and penis. Have not had it in a while, Flame. I've not had it in a
Oh,
while. It's a shame. But I've always been very clear. And even in my clarity, I still didn't know what I wanted in terms of what kind of man, what I liked, what I didn't like, what turned me on sexually, what didn't, what got like I think you have to give yourself time. That's why they say don't get married too young. You think you love this
yeah,
guy or you think you love this woman. You don't even know who you are yet. You got to figure out how
yeah,
you smell in the morning. You got to figure yourself out. And all of those things take time. And I think bombarding commercially, I think from the retail perspective, social media, it's so much being thrown on these children. It's no
yeah,
wonder that they are now record rates showing up in ERs, wanting to commit suicide, overload of anxiety. It's just too
yeah.
much. It's
And
just too
there is a
much.
detransition rate in the LGBT community that is unbelievable.
But they
They're
don't talk
changing
about
their
that.
minds.
They don't talk
They
about
do
that.
not. They do not. Because you didn't cut your breast off as a trans man, or you didn't have the SRS surgery. There is, first of all, there is no going back from that. There is no going back from that. There, one more time, there is no
So
going
you
back from that.
cannot undo it.
You can undo it. You can go get a penis put on, but it will never work. It will never be the functioning penis that God blessed you with. Just like with when a girl has when a trans woman has an SRS, that thing has to be dilated constantly for a year, nonstop, 4 or 5 times a week, or it'll close up on you. And there's so many different stories and horror. And it's it's not to say that they're all not successful. There are some success stories,
Well, first of
but
all,
there are
that
some that
sounds
are not.
painful.
Well, first of all, I'm not cutting this nigga off at all. We gonna die together. Thank you, God. Let me thank God 2 more times. Thank you,
Two
God.
more
Thank you,
times.
God, for
Does he have a name? Does he have a name? Hey, Seti. Does he have a
his
name?
name. His name is impressive.
Hey, baby. Yeah.
How many brothers? How many brothers can't say that? Because his
Well,
name is
let me tell
impressive.
you. I wish I could tell you right now, but I can't. Let me ask
and
you
and
this.
but the problem to me, Jasmine, was like you said, social media. To me, I have seen big names like Laverne Cox and the other girl from she was a producer or writer on Pose. I can't think of her name right now.
I think
And
I know who you're talking about.
she said I was born and the doctors assigned me male. Do you know how confusing that is to a kid who is having identity problems to
Yeah.
think that I was born and I had a penis and a testicles and they called me a boy? What else were they going to call you, sweetheart?
That's a huge narrative. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that. But I think there's so much misinformation. And now everyone has a PhD on what this gender means and non-conform. It's just so much. I'm like, every day there's something new. I'm like, I can't even learn Spanish. I can't keep up with those new words. How in the hell am I going to learn all this other stuff? It's
It
hard.
is it
I'm not saying
it's
I
mind
want to be
boggling to a
disrespectful.
child. And so, mind you, you're a grown woman. I'm grown. Some of those terminologies I don't know. So imagine when you got a child's mind.
Yeah,
When you can't make up your mind whether you want white bread or wheat bread. I damn sure can't make up my mind about this, but they don't think like that. They
they
are
don't.
so busy pushing an ideology because they're trying to get all of these. And here's my problem with my community. I am a part of the LGBT community, even when they don't want me to be. Here's my problem with them. Stop wanting everybody to accept you when you haven't accepted you.
Uh-huh.
Acceptance is a blueprint that starts with you. I accept Flame Monroe, Marcus Parker, these titties, my penis. When I'm bearded, when I'm in a bad mood and I'm in a good mood, because I look in the mirror and I see all my personalities. They all belong to me. But I'm not pushing who I am for you to like it. I have to like it. And if you like it, great. And if you don't like it, great. I know to stay the hell away from you.
Well, the other school of thought in my mind is I would never want to give someone the power over how I feel because of how they feel about me. Because if I'm looking for you to like me and I'm doing things to make you like me, I've now given you power to also take that away. So you could like me on Monday and by Wednesday you not like me and I'm all the way back to square one. My thing is I'd rather just move how I move, right? And if you want to move with me just like that, let's do it. And if you don't, I'm cool, you go over there, I'm going to be over here. Now that's a Scorpio in me. I feel like I don't have time. Who was it? There was I think it was Dion Cole during his special who said that Jennifer Lewis had one time said she only had so many summers left. My thing is, I know I have fewer summers in front of me than I do behind me. So I don't have time to be concerned about who likes me. I don't who is this? Hey Mikey? I don't know. I don't have time to think about that. It's too many other things I want to do, places I want to go, people I want to love and really love. I just don't
Yeah.
have time to worry about it. I don't.
It's preponderous, and I hope we get to a different place. I hope we get to a better place, and I hope that I just get a platform because I thought I wanted one job, and then I realized that wasn't for me. I am not a ratchet ghetto. I am an intelligent, political savvy comedian that likes to talk politics. I had to take a picture with DL last week. I said, you know, they think I'm you out of drag, so let's take a picture together because they say that DL and I speak so much alike, especially when it comes to comedy and politics and the satire. But I'm like, but my boobs is bigger than DL.
And you're taller than him.
Exactly.
Now the boobs,
But
I don't know. He might give you a run for your money.
I didn't say it, DL. She said it. But I just want to work, Jazz, and I want my, and I hate that. I hate that my own community pisses on my career. It was the straight people because they didn't understand. When I finally got the understanding of them, now I'm fighting against my own community because I won't tap dance to say what they want me to say. I'm never going to discredit what a woman is to all of us. I'm never going to think that I'm above a woman. Neither am I in competition with a woman. I'm not. I'm a female. I'm a great female impersonator. I'll take that.
So, considering everything that's going on in your life now and the challenges that you're facing, if you had to pick a time in your life that you could go back to, but bring it here. In other words, you wouldn't have to go back to the past and stay there, but you could take a time when you were your happiest and bring it today. When would that be?
I was 33 years old.
33.
I, I was 33 in Chicago. I knew exactly who I was. The body was unbelievable.
Let,
I would have made all you BBL bitches
I,
fall by the
let
wayside.
me tell you, I know this is true because I think you posted a picture of yourself. Like, I don't know if it was a throwback Thursday or something. I was like,
There's a picture I had with a black and white pet leather thing. I was holding a head up on the wall and it's all sheer in the back. I had the best ass and the best flattest stomach and the nicest tits and the smoothest young skin. And I was in my element hosting the shows in Chicago. I had just got into the stand up game a little bit and I was in a happy place. I had got past the hurt of a broken heart of a man, but I didn't know a woman was coming. Oh my God. And and I was just in a good place. I was very, very pleased. I was very popular, and there was no political about trans or whatever because we weren't even that transparent. So I was an anomaly. I was doing the radio in Chicago. I couldn't get the job because there was a hater, a producer who was worried about me being transgender as opposed to about me being talented. I'm like, the mirror that you're looking at, I'm not your mirror. I'm never going to
yeah.
out you. I don't care what you do on the low. I don't want your fat ass. So, but it stopped me from getting work. It's been a roller coaster ride of emotions. I think that my life has strengthened me to equip me to deal with what's a lot of things that happen. That's not to say that it gets any easier, but at least I always stand on my conviction to know who I am and what feels right to me. I'm not always right, but
Yeah.
I'm always right with me.
Yeah.
Not to me, but
What
with
makes you
me.
cry? What makes you cry? What makes your heart heavy?
When my children are unhappy. And when they see me unhappy, they're unhappy. So my children see a sadness that nobody else sees because when you take work from me, it hurts me.
Mhm.
It's not that you didn't get you. If I didn't get the offer, then I feel like, okay, they gave it to somebody else. But when I get the offer and then they're rescinded because you let one person from the community say, blase skippy whoop did whoop, and then I
Yeah.
lose the gig. I'm like, oh my God, I'm depending on this. I'm depending on working. I was excited about I love to be on stage. I love to make people feel great. I love to be dressed up, and I know the power that I have. When I'm dressed up as a woman, I own that power. When I'm digging deep in what I want to dig in, whichever hole
Yeah.
I prefer, I own that power too. I do. That is the problem. I own y'all don't own me. I own me. A lot of people real estate. Somebody else owns them. I own this real estate.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that I have a lot of friends who are in that community. that I've well specifically I have one friend that I've known for years, and he's just this is gonna sound really crazy, but I can say it to you because you me and you right in here. He's just old school gay. Like he's not.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got no title. He's not a member of this, that, or community. He's just gay. Period. That's all it is,
Yeah.
and that's all he wants to be referred to as. But he is one of my closest and dearest friends, and
Mm-hmm.
I have learned so many things from him.
Yeah.
Shared so many secrets that I've often said to people, there is a vulnerability that if you ever get the opportunity to be friends with someone who's gay, trans, perhaps I would imagine, or
Yeah.
anybody in that
Yeah.
community, but there is a
Mm-hmm.
vulnerability that you get from them that I have honestly found almost second to none.
Yeah. He's like me, GNA. We're GNA. We those kind of gays. Gay no agenda.
Gay,
Gay
no
no agenda.
agenda.
I have no agenda. I have
Yeah,
no agenda but to
yeah,
be happy. That's my only agenda, to make my children. That's my own. I have no agenda to push no narrative. I
yeah.
will, of course, I want to be treated fairly, but I want to be treated fairly as an American, as a black person. So all that
We
will
still
fall.
waiting on
So you
that.
know what I'm saying? Exactly. So
Look,
I
we
am
still waiting
GNA.
on that.
Your friend is GNA. Gay no agenda. Those are the ones that I want to be around because when the agendas come, here comes the issues. Here comes the problems. Of course, I want to be treated fairly. I want to be respectful. I want to be able to work. I want to have public housing. I want to have equality when it comes down to health care and Medicare, what have you. But I'm not looking to say, oh, I'm here, I'm queer, get used to it. I never like that term, by the way, because here it is. I don't like beets or Brussels sprouts. If you put a plate of them in front of me, I will never get used to it. I'm going to throw that shit in the garbage.
What?
You know, it's I'm here on queer. Get used to it. I don't want to get used to it. You want to get your sister? Okay. I don't want to get used to it. I want to just be who I am and allow you to be who you are.
You know what? I've never really told anybody this story, but my
Hey,
biological
exclusive,
brother,
exclusive.
get your fan. It ain't even that juicy. It's really kind of sad. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I will tell you this though. First, let me tell you the sad story. Then I'm gonna tell you something crazy. The sad story is when I met my biological brother, because I'm adopted. I
Okay.
moved to New York because I'm a Scorpio, so we a force to be reckoned with. I moved to New York and told my biological mother, "It's your turn." Like I'm 30 something years old. My mama raised me, but now you my biological. It's your turn to do something. You got to put some work in. I never known you, never met you, but now it's your turn. What we doing? And my brother, I moved in with them. They live in New York. They were New Yorkers. I moved in with them in New York, and he was too afraid to tell me that he was gay. Now, I realized that he was gay because he did not present feminine at all, right? And I had taken the LIRR for the very first time. That was the train that goes between Long Island and Manhattan. And I had come home early, gone upstairs because he had given me his room. And I went upstairs and he was in the bed with his man. And I was like, what is going on? Like I was just because I had no clue. He was so embarrassed. But he later told me at a wedding, he was like, I didn't think you would love me if you knew that I was gay. And he was like, we just found each other and I didn't want to do anything or let you know anything about me or myself that would cause you to maybe not love me. And
Yeah.
I was so saddened by that
Yeah.
he would think that, and I would imagine, I'm certain we've seen it, that there are some people who would remove their feelings for someone based on something so superficial. But I was not that. But now on to the juicy story of when I was working in New York. I had a lesbian stalker, and
Mm-mm.
she wanted to do I had like a lesbian stalker who wanted to do things to me. I didn't do it though. I didn't do it, Flame.
They get aggressive too. I had a lesbian stalker, but she won. Oh,
Ah! Well, I had to
Oh
call
shit,
the
I like
police.
that. I like that.
I had to call the police on my lesbian stalker. She wanted to get this, cut my hands and feet off and have sex with me. I was like, why can't I use my hands and feet? Why can't I keep them? That's not what
She
you,
wasn't
I
no
mean, you're
les-
not going to use
she
them
wasn't
no way,
no
right?
she wasn't no lesbian stalker. She was Silence of the Lambs. You supposed to call the police on her ass. Good
And
God.
I did. And I did. But let me ask you this, because there's this whole movement on TikTok. Now, let me go on and tell you the truth. I got suckered in. I even got my assistant in on it. You up late night, 2 o'clock in the morning. I got insomnia. I'm all on TikTok, and I see this fine dude. I'm like, damn, he fine. Now, I told you it's been a while since I had some, right? So I look at his page. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is a girl. It was a stud.
Trans man.
Yeah.
Stud.
I-
Okay.
but when I tell you what gorgeous, and then I found because I looked through the profile, the algorithm. They're like, "Oh, you like this? You spent some time over here?" Well, yeah, because I thought it was a dude. All of a sudden, I started getting all of these profiles of studs.
Yeah.
Some of them, some of them, I was like, "Could I? I couldn't. Could I? I can't. Can I? Oh, nah, I could. I don't
Send them my
know."
way, Jazz. That's my get down right there. Listen. My fantasy was always Michael Jordan with a vagina. I'm telling you what, I know what I like, honey. I knew what I like. That was always my fan. And there are some trans men out here that are so beautiful and so convincing. You know what I love about trans men that have relationships with trans women? For the 23 hours out the 24-hour day, they treat me like a girl. They open the door for me. They take care of me. And the hour dance
But
is
wait
my
now,
time.
because I'm very, very smart, but sometimes I'm a little slow. So a
That's okay. That's how we
trans
understand.
man attracted to a trans woman.
It's heterosexual sex for the most part, and they don't want to say it. Just as simple as that. It is heterosexual sex,
That's what I'm
but
confused about.
saying it like that, girl, the world almost comes to an end.
Come to
So
an end. But
respect.
that's
It's
the
a
part
trans
that can
man
be
with
confusing. That's the I
what
don't get that. Like I'm like I don't. Yeah, okay,
there are a lot of trans couple relationships, and you see the trans man pregnant. They keep changing all this, but the simplicity of it is a heterosexual sex. It's heterosexual sex. It may not necessarily be a heterosexual relationship per se,
got
but
it.
the sex is heterosexual.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to understand it from the perspective of in in terms of gender, you can want to be referred to as a
Yeah,
girl, but
yeah,
perhaps sexually be
yeah.
attracted to
To
um
what you live as.
yes.
And the
Yes.
problem is that this young community is trying to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has worked for centuries. The wheel
Correct.
will not stop working. You
But I
don't
think
need to reinvent the wheel.
and you said something very interesting and I think is actually true. It is very much I don't want to say it's a fad, but I think people like names. They like giving things titles. It's like we're going to call
Yeah,
this the VIP section. Bitch, it's just another section of the room with a red rope around it. It's the
yeah.
same thing. Like you don't get it.
Which is why I am HeSheWe, because
He,
I've
she, we.
created my own lane. I created since we own all of this, this is another backlash I get because of the whole trans athletes and all that. And I think that there are enough trans people that want to compete in sports to where they should create a lane for trans athletes. We wouldn't even be having all the argument. When the paraplegics wanted to compete, people who had lost a limb, an arm, or leg, they created the Paraplegic Olympics. When the special needs kids wanted to compete in the Olympics, they created the Special Needs Olympics.
Yeah.
Women that wanted to play professional basketball, when they couldn't play in the NBA, they
Yeah.
created the very successful WNBA. So
Yeah.
why not just create a trans athlete? It would take away the argument. We wouldn't be doing all this push back and forth. There's enough athletes that want to compete. I'm sure they'll get an audience. Somebody wants to watch it. Not me per se, but somebody.
He said, not me per se. No,
I
but you're
don't want to
right.
see that shit.
But you're right. To me, I think the only fair way to do it is if you have to take a pill, a droplet, a tincture of anything to assist in any way, whether it is to, okay, I need to reduce the level of testosterone or I need to increase the level of estrogen. As soon as you say that to me, you're automatically disqualified for those who don't
Yeah.
have to take anything. It's not fair. It's no different than if I
Well,
go to compete
it's
in the
the same
Olympics.
thing.
I can't take
It's the same thing.
allergy
Look at Lance
medication.
Armstrong. I mean, to cut you off, look at Lance Armstrong. He took performance enhancers for years and kept winning, winning, winning. Performance enhancers is the exact same thing. You
Same
you
thing.
take away from them, you discredit them. So why would you not discredit the person that lives an alternative lifestyle or lives
Yep,
the life that they feel like, then compete against the people that were born as the same sexuality as you? That's it. Simple. But
that's it.
no, we want to fight and push back. And I think the way to get that ball rolling would be for Caitlyn Jenner to publicly give back her ESPY award for Woman of the Year because I thought it was disrespectful. Why y'all didn't give her Trans Woman of the Year? It
Yeah.
is respectful to call a woman or a man, trans woman. It is.
And I think the fact that they gave the award so soon after the announcement, as if other women hadn't been doing things all year long as a naturally born woman, if that obviously I'm sure I'll get pushback on that, but
Not for
to
me.
give
Not for
him
me.
an award, and I'm not gonna lie, for me, it was very confusing when he walked out on stage in a dress and heels, and I was like, oh, look, it's Caitlyn. And then he said in his natural voice, "Good evening." I was like, "Oh, I I thought he cuz no one had explained that he was going to be trans, but he was still going to be male. I mean, I don't know. It was just confusing. It was confusing and I was like, "Okay, if you're going to take the time to explain it all the way so that we're not confused." But to your
That
point,
is,
why are you getting a Woman of the
yeah.
Year award when you haven't been a woman for a year?
That is to me, that is when the whole cancel culture, all of this foolishness, the walls of Jericho just came tumbling down and it just went left.
Yes.
That was what cut the cord and released the ball, and it has not stopped rolling since.
All I know is I just think you are amazing. I think you truly are a flame. You are fire. You are fire walking. I've you know what? I don't think I've ever now I watched you on We Ready or She Ready. She Ready. But I've
Mm-hmm.
never seen you live. I've got to come catch
That's
a show live.
that is the experience that you have to get because live, I there is no filter, there is no shame, there is no I can't say it because somebody videotaping me, and I always do this thing at the end of if you ain't scared to ask it, I'm not afraid to answer it. Where I allow my audience, nothing is off limits, nothing is out of the question. That this is how you get people to know you and they learn.
It
And when I
is.
tell you these people, women ask the most extreme. One woman asked me when I pull out my whatchamacallit and show it to her. She wanted to
I was
see it
just
and woo
about to
woo
ask
woo.
you.
Oh my God, I get the most barbaric questions. But what to me, what that does is I'm allowing you to come in. We are
Yeah.
sitting together and we are gathering, and you go when you leave this room, you will understand me so much more than I will understand you, and you'll be comfortable with me. Now, you the next trans girl you meet may not be as cool as me because ain't no bitch cooler than me. But
Amen. I will
it
agree.
hopefully it'll make you a little easier to intake what you run into next time.
What have you ever let somebody see it and they was like, "Hey, I was wondering
It's
what you
like a
doing later."
gun. Don't pull it out unless you're gonna use it. If you ask me to pull it out, you must invite yourself to the
You got
party. And if your head ain't good, I'm gonna tell everybody.
tell them all.
Jasmine, you know what's so fun? I just came back from Yellow Springs, Ohio with Donnell Rollins. I did Donnell Land. And then last summer I did summer camp with Dave Chappelle. When I did the Breakfast Club and I took the picture with Lil Boosie, we just happened to be there at the same day. The community went after me so crazy because they didn't like how Lil Boosie speak. Then when I did that thing with Dave, they thought that Dave was this and that. I met Dave the man long before I met Dave the comedian, just like with DL Hughley. And
Yeah,
DL admitted that on your show, on the show with you guys. DL
yeah,
turned me down 3 times because he thought I was coming on to push an agenda, the gay rights and the boo. And when I was like, dude, I'm a comedian. We got
yeah.
along so famously. And when he sees me in public, he embraces me and hugs me like I'm just one of the girls or one of the fellas. And to me, Jasmine, that speaks so much volume to me that they don't get a chance to understand. They say I'm pandering for the straight people. All I ever wanted to be was respected by my constituents as another comedian, and that is
Mm.
how they treat me now. But I earned that. That didn't happen overnight. I didn't go in, kick the door down, and here I am, and woo. I respectfully let it happen organically, which is why I'm in such a great place with the people that I work with. I hate that my community will never see that. They'll never know the respect that I get, but that's not for them to know because I earned that, and nobody can take that away from me. That is what all I was saying. If I would have came into the DL Hughley show when we guys did that together with this whole I'm a trans and you gonna we would not be having this conversation right now because I would have turned
Right.
you off. I came in just like I came in right now. I'm chilling. Hey, what's up, Jazz? Hey, boo. Hey,
Yes.
DL. I was
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, but that is why I think I really do. I just love I watch your lives. I follow you. I think that if more people were less judgmental and really honest about themselves, I think that not only would they not treat you the way that they do, but I think that that would reverberate throughout the community for other people who may not
Yeah.
get it as harshly as you do. Because you do have a platform, it obviously you want to have a larger platform like we all do, but there are some people who don't have a platform like you and probably don't catch as much heat as you do, because I can only
Yeah.
imagine what that must feel like to know that you are a member of a community that does not embrace you all the time.
I'm a member of a community that has threatened my children to burn my children, to kill me because I will not speak the way you want me to speak. But I'm not none of Dave's friend Daphne, the white girl that y'all terrorized. I'm from the west side of Chicago. I promise you that this ain't what you want.
This
Don't
ain't
let
what you
these
want,
titties and
baby.
this wig fool you. I promise you that this ain't what you want. Talk is talk, and I know you messing with my work or what have you, but I promise you
You gonna
that
catch
I've
these
been to
hands.
prison. You ain't gonna catch my hands. I got way more equipment than that.
Oh shoot. And if you got to pull it out, you know you're gonna use it.
Oh, you gotta suck it.
Flame, I love you. Please let me know the next time I heard that. I
Hey,
heard that.
Jasmine, thank you. Oh, I am on my podcast 3 years with iHeart on Laugh and Learn. Thank you so much for that. Black Effect Network, Charlemagne the God. Every Monday I'm at the Hollywood Laugh Factory for Free Voices. I host with
Every
my co-host
Monday,
Memphis Will.
I'm
Every
gonna be
Monday
there.
at Hollywood Laugh Factory on Sunday. Oh my God, 7:30. Jasmine, you want to see me live?
I
Come
want
see
to
me
see you
live on a
live.
Monday night.
I'm
Come
coming
see me on
there
a Monday night.
Monday night. Me and you gonna hang out. We gonna kick it.
Yeah.
Now you know I'm gonna let you know. I like to drink a little bit.
Well, I don't drink, but I got an
That's
edible
okay.
that'll make you think you sitting right next to God. I promise you.
Okay, okay. Here we go. Now you know what? This is the perfect setup for me. Let me tell you why. I've never smoked weed and never had an edible. I've had probably not even a millimeter of a piece of an edible because I was so terrified. But I think the best time to do it would be with you.
And I've never smoked. So see, we got that in common. I'm not a smoker. I love my pretty lips and my pretty teeth. I don't want to smoke. Plus, I'm quite particular about what I put in my mouth. Now, it ain't what come out; it's what I put in.
Oh, well, damn. Well, all right. And with that,
But Jasmine, thank you. Oh my God, this was so wonderful. And Jasmine, thank you for just us this to me, the real conversations, the genuine, not trying to outdo each other, not trying to outshine, just I need to know. And I need to know what you want to know from me so I can tell you what I want to know from you. That is how we are going to heal America because America is such a pro. And I'm telling y'all right now, you better get them go register to vote because the Don Ron ticket going to be the scariest thing you ever seen in your life. And
oh
I
my
said the
God.
Don Ron ticket. Y'all don't want to believe that. Y'all want to make them think that they're enemies. But let me remind you, black people and brown people, that in 2016, when we had 23 Democratic candidates, when they had the first debate, the first person that tore Joe Biden's ass in half is now the sitting president of these United States. You better pay attention
Amen. Let me tell you
because
something.
the
Put it out
Don
there.
Ron ticket is scary.
It's super scary. It would be the end. I'm telling you. You could just
Yeah,
look at all of the bills that they have now. You know, when you listen to the way that Trump speaks, the way that Ron DeSantis speaks, it is a scary situation right now. And I listen. We're
yeah.
gonna fuck around and find out.
I'm gonna leave this country. I'm gonna pull Tina Turner. I ain't gonna die, but I'm a damn sure gonna go to the south of France.
And I'm gonna be right there on your patio.
Make
Hey,
sure,
Flame!
and I am the greatest Tina Turner impersonator in the world. So if you guys want to book a Tina Turner impersonator, hit a bitch up because nobody does Tina like Flame Monroe.
I believe you. And what's
Google it.
love got to do with
Look
it?
at it. Look, Google it. You guys go to YouTube and type in "Flame Monroe Tina Turner." And thank you. Welcome. You're welcome. You're
You're
welcome,
welcome.
Jazz.
You're welcome. Flame, I love you, baby.
Oh,